Social club is the best.
Look for the stars, look for the roaming crowd, and I will not be there. Look for the roses, they loved me, they did, and I'm still a misfit.
Come together like 100 different strands. That's right. Wanna make God laugh or just tell him your plans. Yeah. That's right.
What is up, guys? Welcome back to the channel.
Hi.
Junt Reacts on YouTube. It's your boy Justin and my boy
Chris.
Hi. And we're back at it for another one. But this time it's a little bit different. We're taking a new take on a different path. We're taking a journey.
Words.
It's a path.
Words.
This is actually an artist from, what is it?
England.
England.
From Brighton.
Yeah, Brighton. Britain. This
No.
is...
There's a city called Brighton in England.
Britain. British.
Yeah.
This is Ren. If you've never heard of Ren, I highly suggest you go and listen to some of his other music before listening to this, because it probably has a very weird take to it. He has a different tone to his music.
So Ren suffers from a lot of health issues.
Yes.
Some of it stems from a case of Lyme's disease that manifested in many different ways.
Mm-hmm.
But he grew up in something called busking, which is basically England's version of a street performer.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So,
I did not know that.
Yeah, he and his buddies would play, like, you know, old tunes like Johnny Be Good and War Pigs and like all those kind of songs.
Cool.
In like a full band, and they'd be playing on the street, and that's how they kind of got big. They even have a whole album. It's called The Big Push. That's their band.
Oh, yeah.
And they have an album called The Busking Sessions, and that's what he came up doing. That's his start, and then he started doing his own thing, and he came out with a song called Hi Ren, which was on the same level as NF, actually. How he speaks about mental illness, and it's a really great song. Go check that out.
Yeah, please go check it out. Link will be in the description. Also, if before you listen to this, if you haven't heard Money Game Part 1 and Part 2, go ahead and check it out, because those songs are really good. I love them. But this is... Sorry, go ahead.
The only other thing is that Ren... The reason why it's called Money Game is Ren is an anti-capitalist.
Yeah.
He doesn't like what capitalism has done. Now, I don't know if he's a pure communist or if he just is kind of anarchist, but he's anti-capitalist. That's why, and he notices all the negative sides to capitalism.
I like it because it kind of exposes their game, like how they're playing us as people, lower class people. But yeah, so this is Money Game Part 3. I haven't heard this, neither has he. So we're gonna take a look at it, and we need to try and probably keep our talking to a minimal, because it's like 9 minutes long. And I don't know how long this battery has. So.
Okay, we're gonna go for it.
All right, you guys ready? I'm ready. All right, let's go. Let's click it at the same time.
I'm sorry. I know we have to do it at things, but I remember what this reminded me of. It reminded me of Moonlight Sonata Movement 3, where it seems like Beethoven did a line of coke right before it did.
Yeah.
Right before he wrote it.
Yeah. I wonder if Ren did coke before this.
Probably not. I don't think he does drugs.
Oh, he probably can't.
Well, yeah.
Probably kill him.
That too. But I'm sorry. That I just had to get into that.
Yeah.
But here we go.
How is he playing that with a mask on? That's
a real musician memorizes.
That's talent right there. Ooh, I love it. edition. I'm scared. Gives me Slenderman vibes.
Yeah. I think this is the first time in any of them that he actually takes off the...
Angelic.
So I'm going to pause it because there is another series of I haven't listened to Ren in so long, and he has such a great voice.
Oh, I know what you're talking about.
Yeah, there's a series called The Tale of Jenny and Screech.
Yes.
And there's 3 videos, and he has it compiled in all 3 music videos together. And that, I got chills, because that is about Violet's story, which is the third song, and it's the ooh.
Yeah, that's what it reminds me of as well.
And it's like this, he has this quality in his voice that he can have like a spooky, ghosty vibe.
Yeah.
And it's so good. And he's a brilliant musician. Like, he was playing all that. Like, he didn't have someone else play that.
Yeah.
He can play guitar and piano and sing, like, amazing.
And rap.
Because he's been sick since a child, so he had to learn some kind of distraction.
Yeah.
So that's where his music skills come in.
Tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. 1 year old and his first words were mine, gimme. 2 years old he was walking, 3 years old walking quickly. 4 years old he was running round the pavements of his city. 5 years old and his daddy told him, listen here son, you gotta learn to be a man. A man, he works for what he wants. 6 years old and he's reading, writing, top of the bunch. And when he's 7, his progression made him student number 1. 8 years old and he's praised for unusual grades. 9, his parents paid for private school to nurture the flame. 10, 11, 12, 13, he ascends and ascends. His daddy tells him, son, money is the means to all ends. 14, solving complex mathematical equations. At 15, IQ 150, still elevating. 16, he develops complex software code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17.
Dude, the amount of stories of hackers who are just geniuses.
Dude.
And okay, so again, go watch The Tale of Jenny and Screech, and I dare you not to cry, because Ren has this ability, on top of all the things we've said, to paint such a brilliant picture with so few and such concise words. And it's insane, and he drags you in. This is probably the same producer, director, and like producer of the music video. Cause
I'm gonna cry.
Yeah, this is gonna be insane.
Oh man,
but
I love the little backstory and the piano.
Yeah,
I love when they just play the whole keyboard like that, dude. I'm a huge piano fan.
So good.
Wet code that detects weaknesses in cybersecurity protocols. 17 and he sells his vision, keeping the share. Not yet an adult, but he's practically a millionaire. 18 and his daddy tells him, now you're a man. This world don't give a damn about you, so take all that you can. 19, he turns a profit, stocks and shares, invest in product. 20, double down deposits. 21, his income rockets. 22, he learns the truth is just an obstacle to wealth. If you manipulate the data, then a lie will sell itself. 23, a life of luxury, crystal and cocaine. 24, he makes the Forbes list, they're applauding his name. 25, and his daddy tells him, listen here son, while you're sitting in that palace, that don't mean that you won. 26, a business shift, he switches business to arms. He's 27, dealing nuclear and shells in Iran. 28, inside the Senate, money bought him a seat. He He's 29, a role of counsel in the president's suite. Now he's 30, his daddy says you're losing the race. You're just a servant to the king, not even in second place. 31, a big maneuver for his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba.
No, I had to remind myself that he's talking about British Parliament, not American politics.
Yeah.
Because that's a whole lot different.
Yeah. That's so. Wait, let me get this straight. What was his name in the very beginning?
Jimmy.
Okay.
Yeah.
For some reason, I don't know why, but I thought he was.
He said Jenny.
Yeah, or no, I thought he said Screech, or like.
No, he was continuing that story. No, yeah, that story ends with Violet.
Okay, sorry.
Yeah, but he does have a habit of over years, like Tale of Jenny and Screech. The first two songs came out, I think, almost 3 years before Violet came out.
Oh wow!
To end the actual whole story.
That's crazy.
So I wouldn't doubt that over the past like 4 or 5 years that he's been doing Money Game, that he would come out with a story with this. But Money Game 2 doesn't have a story like this. It's a bop in my opinion. But yeah, so this is, I love that he's doing his storytelling, and we're 4 minutes in, and it felt like it was only 2 minutes.
I know, right?
Yeah, so let's keep going.
For his daddy's approval, moving imports over borders from the exports out of Cuba. 32, moving grams, growing kilos to tons. He's 33, filling warehouses with powder and guns. 34, turf war with nobody to stop it. Blind eye from the po-po inside of his pocket. 35, he gets the call. I'm sorry son, but it's your father. Had a heart attack, I'm sorry, he's gone. 36, getting pissed off, abusing his product. 37, eyes glazed, disposition demonic. 38, with a prostitute, a moment of passion, heating up a silver spoon and then chasing the dragon. 39, getting reckless and hungry for power. Daddy's words are still driving him to kill and devour.
Dude, that's insane. You know what Chasing the Dragon is, right?
Yeah. Okay. I was gonna say, do you notice how the piano is kind of falling apart and it's not matching up with his like his rhyme scheme or whatever?
It reminds me of High Rens so much.
I know, me too.
Yeah.
But it also really reminds me of like the Tale of Screech. I don't know why, but like where everything's like falling apart and.
Yeah, whenever Screech speaks, he's screaming and then. The guitar gets very violent.
Yeah. You notice how everything that he's doing with like objects, you can actually hear it in the music video.
Oh, that's another thing that he's known for, is this is probably live.
Yeah, I think this is literally recorded in one shot.
He probably has a lav on him somewhere.
Yeah. That is crazy because like it's like perfectly synced. It's not like an input sound that they have. That's so cool, dude.
Okay, back to it.
Makes a move against the cartel, but the strategy's flawed. They retaliate and leave him in a hospital ward. A bullet buried in his vertebra and one in his leg. The doctor sighs and says, I don't think you'll be walking again. Fuck.
Oh, there's the wheelchair.
Is he gonna go to a psych ward? If he doesn't, it's call back to High Ren. I'm gonna scream. Dude's wearing a pig mask, then I'm gonna scream.
Interesting.
Nah, yeah.
Let me tell you a story about a boy named Jimmy. He was 40 and he cursed the words, mine, mine, gimme. 41 he wasn't walking, 42 not walking quickly, 43 never running round the pavements of his city, 44 inside a palace with a mountain of gold. But those riches turn to rubble when perspective evolves. Weighing heavy on his conscience is the value of gold. Lamborghini for a life, trading money for souls. Jimmy followed the code inside the land of the free. Put your hand inside the cookie jar, take more than you need. And his example is exaggerated versions of me. And it's a version of him, and it's a version of she, and it's a version of you. There's no escaping the blame. The way we live is parasitic. Fuck the money and fame. Cut the music.
Oh my gosh.
There's the microphone. It's on his lapel.
Yeah, this is totally live.
Yeah, and I love that because he's talking about the idea of the shadow. In I believe Carl Jung's work, he talks about the idea of the shadow, where in biblical terms it'd be the idea that we all have a serpent within us, and that you have to encounter the shadow and understand that you can become part of that. Like there's a book called Ordinary Men, which talks about a crew of police officers in the 1930s during Nazi Germany, and they get recruited to take part in, little by little, the whole thing of becoming a Nazi. And they were out of the age group. Like, Nazis were generally in their 20s. They were in their 30s.
Oh, wow.
And they were good. They were just normal people. And the thing about it is that as they kept going, they always had the option of going back. They had their jobs like they used to, but they progressed so far as to taking naked Jews out and shooting them in a field. And you could tell that it burned them inside because there was recordings within it that they were physically ill while they did all these things, but they continued to do it for one reason or another. And it's just proof to show that you can be a good person, but if you don't recognize that you can also be a monster, then you don't know what you're talking about. It's like now, I mean, you know, with the geopolitical things happening in Israel, people are saying that the Hamas is so evil. They are the representation of evil. It's like, you know, you can be just as evil as them. They are not a specifically genuine evil person.
I mean, in a way, we were probably seen the same way when we bombed, you know, Japan.
Well, let me put it this way. If I subjected you to a horrible living where you got only 3/4 of the recommended amount of water, I took away your power randomly, I killed people in front of you, including your children, and then I decided to tell you that it's your fault for all of that, how would you feel?
Not good.
Not saying that's right to then turn around and perform a terrorist attack, but that's essentially what was happening to the people in Gaza. And that's just, you know, take the Germans. Germans were blamed for a world war, and then they were told that they have to reduce their military down to a fraction of the size, leaving them vulnerable. And then a guy comes along and says, we don't have to deal with it anymore. And it's actually these people's faults. And everyone goes, yeah. But sorry, not to get all thing, but that's what he's speaking to. When he says that's a version of me, that's a version of she, that's a version of you. He's saying that it's the shadow within yourself. If you value money so much that you're not aiming up, you're aiming at money, then that is what you're going to value. And your life is going to look similar to this dude, because you could be excellent at getting money, just like this kid was. But things happen. I think that's when karma comes into play. That's when God comes into play, and he tears you down. And he was focusing on all these things, and then his dad just dies, and it's almost, I was thinking like he wasn't there for his dad. Like, obviously his dad wasn't the best role model, but like he probably missed a lot of spending time with his dad because of all these things he was chasing. And then he dies, and he goes down to spiraling, you know, pit. But your scaffolding goes away. Whenever he was struggling with something, his dad turned around and said, be a man, do this. He had his answer. He didn't allow something called scaffolding, which is what it's called in psychology, is scaffolding, where you build up a certain amount of self-relying things. It's like when you let a baby self-soothe, you're teaching them how to regulate emotions. But he lost all of that. And so what did he do? He went down and started carving deeper into the little slice of hell that he was doing. But, all right, before we get started, let me make sure. Yes. We're still good. Yes. All right, we're back. I had to do some fiddling. We're going to run it till the end. Sorry, Ren. Love you. All right, let's keep going.
This isn't entertainment. This is real life. The way we live is lunacy. Community, it declines. Hyperpolarized, always fighting, then we divide. Truth is less important than the money that we designed. Money's an invention. Politics from our invention. They all come from people's ideas. Did I mention? Border's an invention. Law and order fuel the tension. It leads to people killing each other. My solution?
How did he get a gun? Guns aren't allowed.
Don't worry about it.
Over there. It's probably fake.
He's also been living in Canada, so.
Oh, wow. Okay.
Because of his brain stuff.
I'm glad we have this nice big pause so we can just talk about it.
Yeah.
Oh God, what is he about to do?
It's a nice little
Smith and Wesson.
pew pew.
I think.
Everything is subject to change. We could build utopias if individuals were taught to use their brains. But if we teach kids in schools to always be sheep and put themselves before the herd if there's more money for me, then there's no future I see where the humans survive with parasites inside a Pepsi dish with cannibal minds. Mold will grow upon the surface and consumes till it dies. And our fate could be the same without this story to the wise.
I'm assuming those are blanks.
I hope. I hope.
45. Jimmy comes home out of the rain, soaking wet upon a wheelchair, drinking again. He is everything he wants, he is fortune and fame. He's a fortunate fool with an unfortunate fate. With a 45 caliber aimed at his brain. 45 a fitting number cause his age is the same. Here's the words of his father, it's such a damn shame. Then he presses on the trigger of a money game.
That didn't sound like a bullet.
Well, yeah. Yeah. Oof.
Wow.
Oof. I gotta watch the other three now.
War Thunder.
Oh.
Oh God. Okay. Oh man.
I mean that ultimate power corrupts ultimately.
I wonder what the actual like audio is like, you know, on like Apple Music. I wonder if it has the talking in it or like those huge open like silence parts.
I wonder because the Taylor Jennings. I know I've only ever listened to it on YouTube, so I don't know.
I've only listened to it on Apple Music. I've
Really?
never even seen the video, so
Really?
yeah.
Huh. I have to listen to it on Spotify or whatever I can get on because I have an Android.
Because he's an Android boy.
Yup.
Well, that was interesting. I liked it.
Yes.
The whole talking, I'm not a huge fan of because to me it kind of breaks up the cinematic journey that he's telling. Like I don't like sudden pauses in songs where you're just talking, but that's just me.
I think when it comes to the things he's talking about, they're important.
Yeah, I mean he's still getting the message across, but from a music standpoint, I don't like when it just stops and he's just talking. Like I don't know. It's just me though.
Yeah, I think this is less of a music piece for him than an art piece.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it's
And
definitely
like
art. It's a form of art. Yeah.
Yeah, and like
He's got
a
some
statement.
poetic parts in there as well, where they're actually rhyming.
Yeah.
Some of it he's not rhyming, but that can still be poetic, I guess.
Yeah, and I think this was more of like a Taylor Jennings Screech style than like The Hunger is one of his like really good rap songs that speaks on similar topics. And Money Game, I mean 2 and 1, they're pretty much just a good rap song.
Yeah.
I liked it. So what's your rating?
Oh, sorry.
Okay.
I'm gonna rate it a 8 out of 10 because it's, you know, I want to listen to the like Apple Music version, and maybe I'll come back and give you an actual a different rating. But the music video is outstanding. I love the music video. It was great. I love how he's just literally just telling the story of this boy and how smart he was and how the love of money was his downfall at the end of the game, and he realized that money is not, you know, the key to happiness, and he took his life, which that's unfortunate because that happens a lot, and money is the biggest, you know, cause of that. sometimes. It can be stressful, or it can be overbearing to the point where you forgot what life is even about. And, you know, not to quote the Bible on a Rens song, but the love of money is the root of all evil. Yeah. And that seemed pretty evil to me.
Yeah.
So.
And in the psychological realm, there's a part of thinking that turns to nihilism. And when you come to nihilism, there's two really routes that people end up taking. One's called absurdism, the other one's called existentialism. Existentialism usually ends in religious thought, or a type of religious thought. Absurdism is similar to, like, you know, life doesn't matter, who cares, so I get to do whatever I want since life doesn't matter.
Yeah.
And that's usually how people who think of drugs, think of, you know, sex or money as God in this sense. That's usually where they go, and it ends in a nihilistic realm.
Yeah,
where it ends in a lot more suicide than not.
Yeah.
But I agree with an 8 because, like, it was more of a story than it was a song.
Yeah.
It wasn't Taylor, Jenny, and Screech where it's like it was a song. It was a story within a song.
Yeah.
It was a statement, and I can agree with some of the sentiments. Mm-hmm. And you know, I love Ren.
Do you think this is the last Money Game song?
Maybe because he made a story out of it.
That's a blunt ending right there.
Yeah, but that's how a couple of them have ended. So.
Most of them.
Yeah.
Most of them.
But I highly suggest checking out his other stuff. We might do some other stuff, but you know, Hi Ren, The Tale of Jenny and Screech, Money Game 1 and 2, and then The Hunger is the other one I would offer as a, like, regular hip hop song, because that's like a real bop, if I have to say so myself.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay.
All right, guys, that's the end of this video. We're gonna go and wrap it up. Thank you so much for watching, and if you were enjoying this content, please let us know by giving us a like, a comment, a subscription, and send it to a friend, and ring that bell. But that'll be it for today, and we will see you in the next one. Thank you guys for watching. It's your boy Justin and Chris signing out.